Welcome to Tales from the Trenches Tuesdays. Today I am absolutely honored to have Betty Ann Howard with me. Betty Ann is a philanthropic financial planner. She's an award-winning speaker, an author, a financial literacy advocate, and a charitable giving expert. It seems like a huge portfolio. And for over 20 years, Betty Ann has been guiding women, couples, and families to realize their financial dreams and has shared her vision with audiences all around the world. She has a specialization in strategic philanthropic planning and charitable giving. She's been able to direct millions of dollars to the charitable sector while dramatically reducing taxes for those individuals she has assisted. So welcome, Betty Ann. I've actually noticed that some wills are they're getting to be very smart. So they will say, I'm leaving charity ABC $100,000, but it is to be paid through my shares of RBC, for instance, so that they know that they're actually getting those using appreciated securities. Where, when someone passes away, the executive, the first thing usually they do is just liquidate everything. And then they look at, well, what do they need to pay out? And they really aren't doing the estate any great service.
Well, it's interesting that you would say that because it makes me think of another story where our elderly client, and we were working with her adult daughter and husband, and she said specifically that she wanted the amount to be given to charities, in order to completely eliminate the estate tax liability. So it was fascinating because there were 5 adult kids, and they basically said, yeah, we're going to write out a check for $500 to these 2 charities. And I said, no, you're not. I was there. I was there. I know what your mother's wishes are, and you need to honor. God, it gives me goosebumps and almost brings me to tears. You need to honor your mother's wishes. So you know what? We're going to work with the accountant, and we're going to figure out the exact amount in order to fulfill your mother's wishes, in order to completely reduce her estate tax liability as much as we possibly can. And the gifts were, it was $60,000. I think the kids kind of gasped a bit, but I just said, this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah. So Betty Ann, if we were to kind of look at your typical client, are they kind of seniors who are retired? Are they middle-aged folks? Are they boomers? Are they the Gen Xers? When do you start having these discussions with folks?
I think so. We have quite a range of ages in terms of our clients. And most of our clients, we've been working with them. I've been in this business 24 years. I did a career switch in my early 40s from social work and teaching at Queen's University and St. Lawrence College. So we have quite a range of ages. And so we have clients in their 30s, in their 40s. I would say the majority of our clients are in their 50s, but they're not necessarily retired. And we just have a few clients who are, in fact, retired. So, and we bring the conversation up as often as we can, most especially when we're talking about estate planning. And we've become better at least presenting, here's your estate tax liability, and here are 3 different ways that you can address this estate tax liability. We always have to, as a financial planner, you always have to think about if you were to die tomorrow or if you were both to die tomorrow, and that, because we don't know what the future holds. So, and sometimes it's as simple as, I got very excited about charitable giving life insurance policies. When I saw what you could do, I decided that I wanted to leave $500,000 via charitable giving life insurance policies. And so was talking to these clients, been clients for 15 years. He's newly retired. She's a teacher. And I said, how much are you donating every year? And they said $8,000 to charity. And I said, do you want to see how you could magnify that gift And so we put two $50,000 life insurance policies in place, and they didn't change how much they give on an annual basis. Like they said, why aren't more people talking about this? Like, so where I was going with this is for younger people. I was working with a teacher, and she had, through teaching summer school, an extra $75 a month. I said, do you realize that by the time you're my age, you could be leaving $250,000 to a charity with $75 a month? And she couldn't believe it. So it's a matter of getting the information out there so people know they have a lot of options, and then tailor the options to what makes the most amount of sense and what resonates most with the people we talk to.
Right. And, we all know that tax incentives are usually not the leading indicator whether someone is going to leave something in their will to charity, but it certainly doesn't hurt, especially in Canada, where I don't think most people's charity of choice is Revenue Canada. So it's going to go somewhere. So it can either go to Revenue Canada or you can direct it. The government is someone's going to get their fair share at the end of the day. So I'm just trying to think about how you have is it more likely that someone includes numerous charities in their estate planning, or is it more likely to try to convince someone of leaving a charity in the estate to begin with?
I would say, wow, that's a good question. In that, generally people have their favorite charities. Usually it's 3 to 5. Generally speaking, when we have the conversation and provide the information and say, exactly as you said, Jack, people have a choice. They don't realize, they like being told you have a choice, but how can you make an informed decision unless you have the information? Like, if you don't know you have choices, then how can you decide? So when we present different choices, then people generally, like I said, it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it's a bit of a mindset shift. Well, that's not quite how I looked at it or thought about it. But then most people get on board. Like, they say, oh yeah, why wouldn't I do this? Even conversations with donors. So I deliver a program that charities hire me to provide information, do webinars with their donors, and then I have follow-up conversations with them. And people are yearning to have these conversations. Number one, this one woman I was speaking with, and she said something about, I'm going to leave a certain amount to charity. And I said, so what do you want your legacy to be? And she said, I have a choice to think about what I want my legacy to be when it comes to my kids and passing on my values. I thought by leaving this donation to a charity, this amount, that would say it. And I said, well, there are other ways of saying it too, and passing this on to your family, so that people know how important this is to you.
Betty Ann, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. I love talking with you because I think we kind of sing from the same hymnal.
I think so. Yeah, and there's so much more we could talk about. So
there is. Hi, folks. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here.